Hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on Now. Mark Zuckerberg on Capitol Hill asking for forgiveness.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
The data bombshells from today's hearing, including connections to the Mueller probe and the extent of information sharing with Cambridge Analytica.
I would like to believe that Sam in heaven can finally see how much he's loved.
The heartbreaking suicide of an awe-inspiring student athlete and a father's plea to other teens thinking about taking their own life. This is News Center Now.
Looking live on Capitol Hill right now, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg in the hot seat, getting grilled on privacy settings and the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Digital diva Katie Ortiz breaks it all down, coming up a little bit later on. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. We begin with a local story tonight. The Scarborough community is in shock after losing a positive, popular student athlete to suicide over the weekend. Sam Mercer moved to Maine just over a year ago.
He overcame so many obstacles at 18 years old than more people see in a lifetime. Christina Rex spoke with his father about the son that he lost and how he hopes Sam's death will save another hurting teen.
You're an amazing, phenomenal father to me, Dad. You care about me. You see the good in me.
Old letters, pictures, and silence.
If Sam was one thing, he was loud.
That's all Dan Mercer has now to remember his son, Sam.
Because everywhere he walked, you know, his crutches were thundering here and banging up and down the steps, bouncing out of bed in the morning, and which seemed annoying at the time, and yet I just find myself listening for those noises right now.
Sam Mercer took his own life on Friday, a shock to his father and his peers at Scarborough High School.
I really believe that we had a good relationship, and I just so wish that that had been enough.
Sam was a wrestler.
I be training every day, no
He was a rapper, a good cook. He had a great smile. Sam was a survivor. He lost his leg in his home country of Ethiopia at just weeks old. He was given up by his parents, then by his adoptive parents. He spent most of his life making his way through the foster system until he found Dan Mercer.
Choosing to adopt his child, and that child is choosing to accept me as his father, and it creates a unique kind of bond that way.
Sam was Dan's 16th foster son, and his last. He didn't think he'd be the first to go.
Take it away, Dad.
In the days since Sam's death, his dad heard questions from the community, asking how the Scarborough school system handled reports of Sam wanting to hurt himself. His dad says he won't cast blame.
I wish that if something had been said at the school that I would have known about it, especially in light of what happened. But I don't blame anyone, and two, I know that the people at the school are professionals and that they did their job at the time to the best of their ability.
We didn't hear back from any Scarborough school officials. Sam Mercer had plans. He and his dad were going to go to Ethiopia in June to find his birth parents and learn more about his home culture.
We were watching YouTube videos about it, we were studying maps, we were talking about it, you know, almost every other day, and
a dream that Sam's dad will still make come true.
So now that this has happened, I am still gonna go. And I want to take him back home.
Dan says he'd rather grieve privately, but because Sam had such a positive impact on his peers and so many people at school and in the community, he feels that this is a chance to talk about teen suicide and talk about other teens who might be struggling. Joining us now to discuss some of these issues in the grieving process is Susan Giambalvo. You're the program director for the Maine Center for Grieving Children. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So I want to talk first about, the immediate reaction after someone takes their own life, especially, in a situation like this. A lot of people are trying to say, what happened? We're seeing some blame being thrown around in cases, did we do enough? Did friends do enough? Did the school do enough? What's the right way to approach this?
Well, I think that's one of the most difficult things with suicide loss because it is so complex, and there are many different factors and reasons why somebody might take their own life. And we are left with that unanswerable question of why. Even we love this person, we've supported this person, we see so many wonderful qualities in this person, and it's hard to understand that death. And I think sometimes in our effort to do that, we can blame ourselves, that maybe we should have seen something or done something we didn't do, or alternatively blame others for the same thing. And I think that kind of oversimplifies what has happened and the magnitude of what the person was really struggling with. And it certainly doesn't help people to find a meaningful way and support each other through that grief. And we would really hope that instead people could reassure each other that it's not their fault. They're not to blame for the person's death, and that we, as much as we wish we could, we didn't have control over that person's behavior or their actions.
So Dan, who's Sam's dad, he now, worries about other kids at the school who might be grieving from the loss of Sam. What would you say to those teenagers at the school who just lost their classmate?
It's hard to find the right words to know what to say, and I think that we need to remind teens and all of us that any feelings that we have when we're grieving are okay. They might feel angry, again, that the blame, they're going to be sad. So it's important that they have an opportunity to express those feelings in a safe way. And for adults to remember that teens don't necessarily have all the coping skills that they need to express these really big and strong emotions. And it's important that we're there to support them in doing that process.
How do we tell these kids? I know we were just talking about this a little while ago. Dan, this father, wants to spread the message, choose life, don't make that mistake. How do we convince them that that's the right thing to do?
Well, it is.
It's a big question.
We just have to keep reminding people that help is out there, support is out there. And that's such an important part of our response to suicide loss, is also to be aware of suicide prevention and the education pieces, and reminding teens that there's always help, there's always hope, and that there are people out there who want to provide that for them.
All right, we appreciate you being here so much. We're going to continue with you on Facebook Live after the break, actually, so stay tuned for that. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you for now.
All right, Christina, thanks so much for that. And as she just mentioned, Susan Giambombo is sticking around for Facebook for that conversation.
And we are looking forward to you guys getting involved in that conversation as well. We also look forward to something Jessica talked about yesterday, which is high temperatures. But I see this S word here that I'm supposed to say, and then it rhymes with go. It starts with S. What?
I know. Look at it. It's here. It's right here. Snowing in parts of Maine. Again, sick of it. What about you? I think we all are now, but we are seeing some snow showers tonight, and we do have a few more chances actually as we go through the week and even into early next week of seeing a little bit of snow even at the coast. So we'll talk about that more later. But warmer temperatures are coming too. It's all coming this week and into the weekend. Right now, again, some snow showers out there. And as we go through the overnight hours, we'll see a few snow and rain showers. They will really wrap up, though, as we get into the day tomorrow. Temperatures right now, upper 30s, lower 40s again. 41 in Bangor, 36 in Rockland. Right now, it's only 39 in Portland. So it's fairly chilly, but nice and bright right now in Portland. So again, tonight, few snow showers around. Temperatures cool off as we go through the overnight hours. We'll start tomorrow, for the most part, in the 20s and 30s, and then we'll see a couple breaks of sunshine for the day tomorrow. But yeah, guys, unfortunately, a couple more chances of snow, but also a chance for some 60s. So we'll talk about all of that in a little bit.
Must be spring in Maine. All right, thank you very much, Jess. So if you were one of the 87 million Facebook users affected by the Cambridge Analytica scandal, you might want to stick around for our next story.
I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here.
Facebook CEO is taking the heat, but senators don't want apologies. They want action.
And we are getting down to the nitty-gritty for tax season. We answer the most common filing questions later on Now.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg certainly knows how to draw a crowd. Take a look at this line wrapped around the stairwells of a Senate office building. He is currently testifying and will be this week before members of Congress. And everybody wants to know how he will defend the level of data mining and information sharing on his social network.
Do you think that you have an ethical obligation to notify 87 million Facebook users?
Senator, when we heard back from Cambridge Analytica that they had told us that they weren't using the data and had deleted it, we considered it a closed case. In retrospect, that was clearly a mistake. We shouldn't have taken their...
And there's the answer 87 million of us have been waiting for.
Yes, that's right, Lee. And today's hearing, which is still underway, as you saw, had its bombshells, including the fact that not only did Facebook fail to tell affected users about the breach, but Zuckerberg also didn't disclose it to the Federal Trade Commission. Another revelation, Facebook is working with the special counsel investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election.
I assume Facebook's been served with subpoenas from the special counsel Mueller's office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, other noteworthy moments. Is it possible Facebook employees worked in tandem with Cambridge Analytica? That answer will come from Facebook's own investigation. Now, regulation being a big player, should Facebook stay self-regulated, or does the government need to step in to ensure data privacy? And Zuckerberg also offered a lot of I'll have my team get back to you. So I do feel sorry for that team that has to compile all that data. But we were chatting about this earlier in the newsroom. Christina Rex brought a really good point during the conversation in the newsroom is, what is the big spectacle here? Are we just really enjoying watching Zuckerberg, just kind of squirm and get embarrassed? And the answer is, when you have a business that has such a vast influence on the world and you see it used as a tool to manipulate a democracy and an election, you're going to be asked to answer some tough questions. What steps did you take or didn't take? So this committee and this hearing will serve probably as a catalyst for regulation and for privacy rules across the board. So that's really the spectacle here.
I was waiting to hear you say was regulation. Yeah, that's the conversation now.
But there's a couple things that are interesting. This is not mandatory. It's Facebook. You don't have to sign up for it if you don't want to. So people are choosing to sign up for this in the first place, and they do give you your little terms of service, which everybody clicks yes to, and nobody ever reads.
And that was definitely brought up. How long the the terms and rules are. But lots of interesting things come from this. I'm sure.
Well, we were all glued to our TVs. So.
And we will have more about this specific topic during our Facebook talk, our discussion happening right now. That'll be during the next commercial break.
All right. Thank you, Digital Diva. The privacy, data selling, information sharing extravaganza has been everywhere lately. So more and more of us have been thinking about our settings.
That's right. You just mentioned the settings. There is a lot you can do to limit your data sharing going forward. But is there any way to take back the data you already, though maybe unwillingly, gave away? The Verify team found out once you click agree or accept on those terms of service, you've signed away a good chunk of your online privacy.
The Federal Trade Commission is really the main player on this. What they're policing is when the app tells you one thing and then does something else. But if the company is upfront about what they're doing with the data they're collecting and you agree to it, then the FTC has no jurisdiction to get involved in that.
There's really little to nothing that you have in your control that you can provably get any sort of access to what they might have, who they might have shared that data with subsequently, and have any recourse in terms of getting that data back.
Now, Facebook maintains anything that it knows about you, you shared of your own free will, which is why it's important to read the fine print.
Do you have any questions about Facebook and user privacy? Or did you see a rumor floating around on social media but aren't sure if it's real? Send it our way and we will find the truth for you. Comment right now on our Facebook live stream or send an email to asknow@newscentermaine.com. Okay, still to come on Now.
It's very important to file your tax return on time, even if you can't pay your balance due.
Don't get stumped filing your taxes. Make sure you have the answers to the biggest tax questions. That's coming up.
And even though we'll have some wet weather tonight, we do have some high temperatures to look forward to. Jess promises we'll be happy. Just hang in there. The full forecast coming up.
So procrastinators, listen up. This story is for you. The deadline to file taxes 1 week away.
I did it January 31st. We know taxes can be complicated and cause headaches, so Chris Costa took some of the most common questions that people have about their filing to a tax expert.
This is the final stretch for certified public accountants like Eric Purvis.
We're all holding in there.
They work roughly 13 hours a day for the 2 months leading up to deadline day.
Do you have people who haven't given you any info?
Oh yeah, we have a few. There are a few out there, and they'll show up on like April 16th.
That's got to be so frustrating.
It's the same people every year.
There are some seemingly basic questions that their accountants face every tax season, like this. If you file an extension, do you have more time to pay your balance back? The answer is no.
So even if you extend your return, if you have balances due, they need to be paid by April 17th.
Experts advise that you file all of your paperwork on time, even if you can't pay the balance. Failing to do so could result in late filing fees, and you can ask for an installment plan to pay your tax balance back.
Is an extension like a red flag for the IRS?
No, that's a good question, and that's a misconception as well. People are afraid of extending their returns because they think the IRS are going to look at them more closely, and that's just simply not the case. The first 18,000
and tax brackets continue to confuse people. How much will you get taxed based on your income?
And there's a lot of confusion about that.
For example, a couple filing jointly pays a 10% tax on income up to $18,650. If you make $18,660, only $10 are taxed at the next bracket rate of 15%.
You know, people think that if they add one more dollar to their income, all of their income is going to be taxed at the next tax rate, and that's not how it works.
Eric and his team are reminding themselves in the home stretch to take it one return at a time. In Portland, Chris Costa, News Center, Maine.
This year, those tax rates drop under the new tax plan Congress passed at the end of 2017. We also found a few unique deductions that you may be able to make. You'll find those answers on the article for this story at our website.
Okay, so Jess mentioned the S word. We didn't want to hear that.
No.
But then she mentioned the F word, and we do
now we're
want to
really
hear
getting
it.
inappropriate
But we
around
do want to hear it. It's flip-flops. Let's go.
Earmuffs. I was like, wait, what did I say?
Wait, no, we really actually do need earmuffs. It's that cold out there. I need earmuffs for what's going on and for what's happening outside.
Whew. It is going to be nice, though, by the end of the week. Let's just...
I'll never
Can we just go over there? Yeah. Now, I was like, wait! Yeah, that's true. By the end of the week, cold out there right now. By the end of the week, though, we're talking about 60s for at least some of us, and flip-flops. That was the word that I said, just to be clear. Temperatures right now in the upper 30s and lower 40s, 41 right now in Bangor, 40 in Waterville, 39 in Wiscasset, and 39 currently in Portland. So definitely below where we usually are at this time of year, about 10 degrees colder than normal. Here's a look at the satellite radar. Some snow showers in some of the mountains and higher elevations. We could see a few rain showers too. You can see just to the south of York County looks like a few rain showers. So just a few rain and snow showers around tonight. It will clear out overnight, and then by tomorrow should be a mostly clear day. Not too bad out there. Let's go through the hour-by-hour forecast. So overnight tonight and into early tomorrow. We'll start out the day tomorrow chilly again. Temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s. It's going to be a cool start to the day. We'll warm up some tomorrow, getting a little bit more comfortable at least. We'll make it into those low to mid 40s for tomorrow. But once we get into the day on Thursday, it's going to be looking a little bit better, at least as far as the temperatures go. Thursday morning, we're starting out in the mid 30s. Some clouds around for the day on Thursday. Our highs inching up a few more degrees. We'll make it into the mid to upper 40s, some low 50s possible during the day on Thursday as well. However, by Thursday night, we'll see some steadier rain move through. Again, another round of some snow in the mountains and higher elevations for Thursday night into early Friday. But then once we clear out on Friday, that's when the temperatures should be able to warm up. I think in far southern Maine, we will be able to make it into the low 60s, especially away from the coast. We cool back down though Saturday now. It's looking like that front will stay to our south, so temperatures will be a little bit cooler. And then Sunday, you're really not going to like me, high temperatures only in the low to mid 30s. So let's take a look at the day. Friday, again, we're starting out with a little bit of rain early. Skies will clear out, though, for a bit on Friday afternoon. That's when temperatures should be able to warm up. And then on Saturday, again, we're watching that front move through. Could even bring some sleet and freezing rain to the area on Saturday. I mean, who wants to talk about that in April? But it is a possibility for Saturday afternoon and evening. Another storm with some pretty heavy rain for Monday into the day on Tuesday. Here's your marine forecast. Water temperature, nice chilly, 40 degrees. So again, we'll warm up a little bit more tomorrow, upper 40s to low 50s. Thursday, we're in the low to mid 50s. And then by Friday, again, especially in southern Maine, we should be able to get close to 60 degrees. On Saturday, could see some slick conditions. Freezing rain is a possibility even in April. In Maine, cold for the day on Sunday, and then by next week, we'll start to warm up again.
Yeah, only in Maine do we have 60 on the board, and we're talking about freezing rain at the same time.
Yeah, all over the place.
Thank you very much. We have been asking you guys to get involved in our Facebook conversation throughout this entire show, and you've been doing so. Laurie, on the Facebook story that we've been talking about, says, I understand the issues with data in Facebook, but we, as users, have to accept the responsibility. We choose to share our personal information, so we should understand the chances that we take by putting it there. Laurie and everyone else who has commented, thank you very much. All right, News Center 5:30 coming up next. Cindy Williams with a look at what's coming up. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, guys. Almost 4 decades after an infant was found dead, the father is charged with murder. But even though he confessed to killing the child, the charge could be thrown out. Chris Rose is going to explain why. And so many animals in Puerto Rico are in need of homes after this past devastating hurricane season. A local animal shelter went to the island to lend a hand. We'll tell you what those folks saw there. Those stories and much more coming up in the next half hour. Back to you guys.
All right, Cindy, and welcome back. Nice to see you.
Was that Cindy Williams? Is she really here?
Yes.
All right.
That is Cindy Williams. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Did you tell your siblings that you appreciate them today? Now, my sister, in fairness, is in Mexico on vacation with her family, but you know she's watching our show on Facebook Live, so I'll tell her right now, Stacy, I appreciate you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Okay.
Hey, that's so cool. You can watch us really anywhere, even in a different country on the beach. Okay, you can earn some extra brownie points among your family today if you give them a social media shout out. Jan says sister Elaine is her best friend in the whole world. Tina gave us a throwback, a snapshot of her 3 siblings from 1985, and Christina Rex showed her siblings some love on Twitter. How sweet is that? I love seeing these photos come in of people celebrating National Siblings Day.
You should appreciate your siblings, absolutely. Nothing like family.
Nope. All right, stay with us. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.